Why do 2016 screenshots already feel like evidence from a lost internet? The answer is not only nostalgia. The deeper reason is that screenshots preserve systems after the systems themselves stop behaving the same way. When an app changes its logic, its layout, its discovery path, or its social signals, an older screen stops looking merely old and starts looking historical. It becomes proof of rules that once organized attention. That is why recent internet culture can age so much faster than people expect. A newspaper from a century ago announces its distance immediately. A smartphone screenshot from 2016 can feel strangely distant for another reason. The emotional memory is still close, but the platform logic around that memory has already been rewritten. The artifact is young. The system behind it is not alive in the same form. Chapter 1. Screenshots preserve behavior, not just style. People often talk about old platforms as if the important part were colors, fonts, filters, or the low-resolution look of the images. Those details matter, but they are only the surface. The stronger historical value is behavioral. A screenshot preserves the relationship between status signals, captions, comments, sequencing, and platform expectations. It shows what counted as a good opening, what counted as a social win, and what a user was expected to notice first. Take a Vine screen as one example. The 6-second limit did not merely shorten videos. It trained creators to front-load payoff, cut dead space, and design for loops. Or take an older Twitter layout. That kind of screen can preserve a different feeling of sequence, public reply, and shared attention, even before you start arguing about whether the older internet was better. In both cases, the screen records a rulebook. Chapter 2. Why 2016 feels farther away than the calendar suggests. Many viewers still remember that year vividly. The songs are familiar. The phone cameras feel recent. The fashion and memes are easy to recognize. But the platforms attached to those memories have often been sold, merged, redesigned, deprioritized, or shut down. That creates accelerated historical distance. The memory remains personal while the infrastructure has already become foreign. This is why a dead app matters historically. A dead app is not just a dead company. It is a dead room. You may still be able to see reposts, compilations, screenshots, or memes that survived elsewhere, but you cannot fully re-enter the original discovery path that made them feel live. You cannot recreate the same audience timing, the same recommendation logic, or the same status signals. Once the room disappears, its screenshots start functioning like traces. Chapter 3. Migration. When platforms disappear, their habits do not disappear with them. Their grammar travels. Vine's compression logic survives in Shorts and TikTok. Old social media performance styles migrate into newer feeds. Screenshot aesthetics survive as nostalgia posts. The original container dies, but the training it gave users keeps moving. That makes screenshots historically valuable because they show a prior form of behaviors people still recognize in newer systems. A concrete example helps here. If you compare a 2016 screen with a modern short video feed, you can often see the same competition for instant clarity, fast reaction, and visible proof that a post deserves attention. The tools differ. The underlying lessons about speed, replay, and performance can remain recognizable. The screenshot becomes a fossil of a still living attention economy. At the midpoint, this is the open loop many nostalgia posts never quite explain. People are not only reacting to style, they are reacting to broken infrastructure. Something feels older when the system that organized it has already vanished or been rebuilt beyond recognition. That is why viewers can look at a 2016 screenshot and feel a stronger kind of distance than the date alone should create. Chapter 4. The Memory Trap. Nostalgia at its heart. It remembers the brightness, the jokes, the bedroom lighting, the filters, the usernames, and the feeling that the feed once seemed easier to read. It often forgets pressure, instability, harassment, burnout, and the fact that many of those platforms were constantly training users to chase attention in exhausting ways. A serious history view has to hold both truths together. That is the trust boundary in this video. The claim is not that 2016 was a golden age, and it is not that every platform from that year deserves romantic treatment. The claim is narrower and stronger. 2016 left behind unusually legible artifacts. Because so many interface rules from that period changed so quickly, screenshots from that year now capture a social world in transition with unusual clarity. There is also a broader lesson about digital history. People often assume history requires long time horizons, Online culture weakens that assumption. If infrastructure changes fast enough, a recent interface can feel more alien than an older media object. Historical distance is not only measured by years, it is also measured by whether the surrounding system still works the same way. That is why screenshots deserve to be treated as evidence. They capture instructions. They show how users learn to flirt, joke, signal status, react in public, imitate creators, and compete for attention. Once the original platform changes, those instructions become readable clues to a past social environment. So the next time an old 2016 screenshot appears in your feed, ask a better question than whether you miss it. Ask what rule it preserved. Did it teach compression, sequence, performance, intimacy, or another way of being visible online? That is the moment when nostalgia stops being a vibe and starts becoming analysis. The final takeaway is simple. 2016 screenshots already feel historical because they preserve behavior systems whose original containers no longer exist in the same form. They are small artifacts from a rapidly collapsing and rebuilding internet. If you want more explainers that make digital memory readable as history, subscribe and stay with the channel. If this helped the trend make sense, please like the video and subscribe for fast, no fluff explainers. I'll see you in the next one.